Hey, how are you all going? I noticed that Trish went off very quickly, so I decided to come back and entertain you all for another hour or so, give you guys your money's worth. I'm actually researching right now that event this morning in Mitchelton in Queensland. I'm trying to see if there's more information about these two people that were found deceased in a home. So I found some new photos of the scene, so I'm gonna bring those up now. How you all doing? Hope you're having a good evening out there. Yeah. So it says police find two bodies at a Mitchelton property on Brisbane's north side. They say police are investigating the deaths of the two people. Bodies were found after emergency services were called to the house on Kentville Street just before 9 a.m. today. A crime scene has been declared and access to the street has been restricted as officers continue to investigate. A second house at the end of the street has been cordoned off by police. We heard that before, but we thought they were side by side, but now they're saying that second property is at the end of the street. A neighbor? That person that we heard was in a Tyvek suit? Maybe a possible neighbor? Hey, let me get this turned on. Guys, how are you? Good to see you. We're back. Hey, Lindy. How my sweet friend? How are you? Cakespoo, good to see you. Good to see you. By the way, while we were off, someone PM'd me on Twitter telling me that someone made a thread on Reddit about the channel. That is really sweet of whoever did that. I really appreciate it. I'm not sure where, they didn't tell me, but they just said that someone had made a thread recommending the channel. Thank you to that person, and I do really appreciate it. I hope we get some new friends. We get some new friends to talk true crime. That'd be good. All right, let's have a look. So this is the street right here. What's the street called? It's Kentville, right? Kentville Street, Kentville. Queensland, Mitchelton. All right, it's an interesting street. It's sort of it has a loop around. So I'll show you. Here's the street, and you can see here it kind of goes in like a box. See? It goes around and then back around. So it's a bit of a, and then it turns into Glenore Street. So apparently there's Carabin. Where are they situated? They're situated right at the end. There's a house with a gate and then a back door. Let's have a look if it's the one up here. No. Okay, they must be down on this end. We're looking for a house that has a gate and then a garage behind it. Let's see. It's a Queenslander with a brown side gate. Here? Number 16, maybe. Anyway, this is the street, so I'll zoom out a little bit. So this is Kentville. This is Mitchelton. That's Kentville Street, Mitchelton. There's a high school nearby, and I'll show you where it is in Australia. So it's all the way up here in the Brisbane. This is Brisbane in North Australia. And if we go down, you can see it's a northern or northwestern suburb of Brisbane City. So up in the north here, go back down. It must be at this end, I'm guessing, because these houses don't look right, at least not to me. I could be wrong, actually. This one? That doesn't look like a Queenslander. They look like new developments. I'm guessing it has to be this one. That looks like a Queenslander. So, what a Queenslander can be, it can mean it's raised up. They're often on, like, poles, and they're above. You guys might see these in places like Carolina or, Louisiana, especially, like, in the barrier areas. So if you're in a barrier, island area, you see those houses that are on the stumps, that type of thing. They have them in Queensland too, for flooding issues. It's near the school. Yeah, the school's up here. The schools are just over here. There's Mitchelton State High School right here. So it's behind the school. So it's down here. I'm guessing it has to be this end down here. There's all these cars here. Are they cop cars? No, they're not. They just look like they're people parking there. It's not that good. Angela says, "Wait, it's still telling me 5 AM. Added a reminder for you. Only came on." It's probably because I started the stream early because I booked it for a late time because I didn't know when she would finish. So I thought if she finishes early, I'll just go on. So, hey, it's good to see you all. DJ, Danny, Lindy, I Hate Mornings, Laura T, Cakesboo, Retired Iran. Who else is here? Catatonic, my friend. Thanks for the retweets, my friend. I appreciate it. Okay. So not a ton of more information, just that they've cordoned off that street. And then they said here, a man was seen being escorted from the area in a forensic suit by police. Sounds like they might have taken his clothing as evidence. Let's see if they've got any more photos for us. There we go. So what kind of home is that? Can we see a number? Let's see. Can I see a number in this? So it's got like a side stair that goes up onto a landing. Wonder if I could see anything like that. It's hard to tell. There's a lot of trees. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell. I was trying to see if. I don't think it's got us a number. So it looks like it has 2 garages underneath. I'll show you. So this is one of the properties here. I can't see a number, unfortunately. But you can see here, there's a set of stairs that go up onto like a landing and then a front door. And then underneath, it looks like it has 2 garages or some sort of a storage area underneath. And you can see the police tape out in front of it. I'm just trying to see if we have any 2 bodies were found. All right. Let me check a different place for more. Aha, here we go. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, so not a lot more information, unfortunately. Not a lot of photos either. But they're saying here police are investigating the sudden death of 2 people in Mitchelton this morning. See, this is interesting. It says emergency services were called to the property around 8:50 AM. Like maybe someone was expecting them, or were they picking someone up for work and they realized that no one was answering the door and they thought that was a little odd. Let me check if I can find anything else for you. Let's go to the Courier Mail. Maybe they have something. Yeah. There's the scene for you. You see the cops and police tape. There's the house at the end of the street that they had cordoned off there. Right there, that one. So that's the other one, and there's one further down. They look like maybe they are side by side. There's definitely another one down there where the cops are all congregating. And there's that other one. I hope this doesn't end up being like a like a neighborly thing that got out of hand, and then somehow a couple of neighbors have ended up not very well. Cakesboo is called Kentville Street. I can get you the name here. Hey, we don't want to watch that. What is this?
Now it's my pleasure.
Okay, what are they saying? Here's some more photos from the crime scene. You got a couple of police, a couple of plainclothes detectives. There's the guy with the Tyvek suit. And it says here, a man is escorted to a police car. He's got to be a suspect then. He's got only his socks on, no shoes. He's wearing gloves and a, crime scene suit, and his face has been blurred. You think he might be a suspect? They said a man in a hazmat suit has been escorted into a police car waiting in the street. There he is. Does he have handcuffs? No handcuffs. But he is put into a police car. There he is getting put into the cop car. Hey, Cake Spirit. Yeah, that's okay. You'll have to let me know what you think of it. Yeah, he's wearing gloves. Definitely. He's definitely wearing gloves, but no shoes. Look. He's got not even booties on. No like booties to protect the feet. It's like they took his shoes, like to match throughout the home. And then he's got is that a shock sticker? That is. That's a shock sticker, right? Is that what that is? Have you ever seen them? They used to use them in Mythbusters. They're like a hexagon shaped sticker and it's got like a little tube in it and it measures like the shock of things. So like if you put it on a box and you ship it somewhere and they can tell how much force has been applied to the package throughout its travel. That's almost what it looks like, but I don't know, it could be anything. Yeah, I'll show you. So they're called a shock watch sticker. Yeah. See? And it says like, different handling procedures, different like how many G. It can take different types of you know, forces. So you can get different colors. So that one's like 75G, that one's 50, that one's 37, that one's 25, that one's 100G. So what happens is if you put it on something and it exceeds 25G, this little thing will go red in the center. That's sort of what looks like is on his chest. Looks like he's wearing one of those. Interesting. Why would he be wearing one of those? It could just be a label too. That everyone's like, "Ping, it's just got the same shape, but it's not. It's not the. It's not a shock sticker." It could be right. Anyway, I found it interesting. I don't know what it says. Hold on, can we get in closer? Open image in a new tab. All right. Can't get close enough without it degrading, but yeah, you can definitely see he's wearing gloves, but no shoes. No shoes on the guy. I'm gonna guess he must be related to the crime scene somehow. Must be. All right, let's get out of this one. If I get more information, I'll let you know. But so far, pretty interesting, right? I hope those two people, well, I don't hope anything. They're already deceased, but hope they didn't suffer, the poor people. All right, let's go here. I want to show you something. If I can get it to work. All right. So it says a Venezuelan migrant gang has taken over an apartment complex in Aurora. And is that Aurora, Colorado? Let's have a look. Yeah, Colorado, Aurora, Colorado. So let me play the video and then I'll bring you the details. So they're like literally armed. Dudes on mobile phones and with guns. Walking through the unit block like they own it. Don't know what they're looking for. That guy just ran to the window, worried about cops, maybe? All right, let me bring you some more details about what is actually going on in this video. If I can search it. All right, so from KDVR, it says new video has surfaced showing an alleged gang violence at an apartment complex to some migrants, home to some migrants in Aurora, Colorado. So that is concerning. Let me pause that one. And it says the scenario took place at the Edge at Lowry Apartments, which became a reported crime hotspot in the city. The men can in the video, men can be seen walking up a stairwell carrying weapons. They can be heard speaking Spanish. The owners of the video said it was taken shortly before a shootout at the complex that left one person seriously injured. Several vehicles were also damaged by gunfire. All of the people appear to be carrying rifles and handguns except for one of the men who can be seen talking on a cell phone. They all then gather around a door and go in. So, like a raid. They said in another video clip, shows what appears to be two men forcing a door open, but what or who they were searching for is not clear. The video was shot in the building where Cindy and Edward Romero lived until Wednesday. Fox 31 caught up with them as they loaded up their stuff and moved out. They said, "It's been a nightmare and I can't wait to get out of here." Cindy showed us a series of locks lining her front door from top to bottom and demonstrated the moves she goes through to try and stay safe in her home. Every day when we came home, we have to do this. Every time we go out to take out the garbage, every time we go to bed at night, we have to keep it like this so nobody can kick the door in. The couple's car was riddled with bullets after a shootout at the complex earlier this month. The Romeros say the trouble started when a large number of migrants began moving in. They had not been able to move out for different reasons. We couldn't get any help. We tried reaching out to resources, but they told us since it was not a condemned building, we would have to wait until there was an issue. But we didn't want to wait until that. The only help I got was after talking to the TV station. Fox 31 Aurora City Council member Danielle Jurinsky, she viewed the video and she helped the couple move out on Wednesday and find a new place to live. The city nonprofits have lined up to help the migrants that have come here, but nobody is helping the Americans that are trapped in these apartment complexes. She said the complex has been overrun by a Venezuelan gang. This isn't just Americans, other Venezuelans are being extorted by the gang. The Romeros told Fox 31 that other people living in the complex had been asking why they'd been moving out. While on scene, Fox 31 was told other people were moving in and taking over the Romeros unit. So while they were moving out, there were people just taking over their apartment with like no authority. Like they were just like, "Oh, you're moving out? Oh, we're going to take it." That is brutal. Jurinsky told Fox 31 she also helped another person from the same apartment complex find a place to live and move out of the Edge. The city and Aurora Police Department, as we previously stated, have made a special task force in collaboration with other local, state, and federal partners to specifically address concerns about Venezuelan gang called I can't pronounce that, but it's called TDA. And they said other criminal activity that is occurring affecting migrant communities. They said they are grateful for the DEA, a valuable federal partner, and has acknowledged its ongoing work into TDA across the metro and appreciates the additional resources it provides to combat this issue. Hmm. I mean, it's so bad that these poor people had to have like 50 locks on their home just to survive. Brutal. I'm glad that their council member actually gave them a hand. That is very nice. All right. I wanted to show you the video because I don't think I've ever seen like 8 people just walking around an American apartment complex with rifles. Okay, let's go to a different story. We did that one in the first show. You guys remember that girl with the crystal ball? That is a very interesting story. All right. Let's go to Frederick County.
Lot going on. Well, it has been called a crime of passion. Today, a Frederick County community is still trying to grapple with the horrifying details of a double murder that happened this weekend. A man and woman were killed while 4 children hid inside the home. Our Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell is joining us now live. And Brad, law enforcement deals with a lot of really disturbing and difficult cases, but even the sheriff at this one says he is appalled.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? In this community, there is a tremendous outpouring of support, a growing fundraising effort on social media for those children, even as the sheriff here says he and his detectives are doubling down on their efforts to catch the killer. Even today, 3 days after Crimea Baker and Sean Lang were found dead in their bed inside Baker's home near Lake Linganore, shot more than 40 times with her 4 young children in the house, Frederick County Sheriff Chuck Jenkins remains stunned by the brutality of the crime.
I've never seen anything to this degree. Really, it was unbelievable. And again, I go back to the kids. Their life is destroyed. It's upside down. Their lives will never be the same.
Today, a fundraising effort launched by a woman who says she was Baker's best friend has raised more than $50,000 for those children. The sheriff says he needs the help of anyone who has information about a killer.
And we've put additional investigators out on the street looking at different avenues. We have been in contact with the ex-husband in Miami. We've had conversations, and those are continuing.
Jenkins telling 7 News, so far, no one has been singled out as a suspect.
And we're looking at several possibilities of number one, we're looking for a motive. What's this all about? Like I said yesterday, this was an extreme crime of passion. So obviously it's someone who the victims knew well.
And so the sheriff's telling us tonight that even as they hunt for the killer, the children are now safely with family members. In Frederick, Brad Bell, 7 News.
Let me tell you some more about this. It says here, more than 40 rounds were fired at 2 adults who were then found dead inside a Newmarket MD home shared by 4 children early Sunday morning. They said Jenkins repeatedly called Sunday's shooting at a home in the 7000 block a crime of rage and anger, which resulted in the death of a 33-year-old called Crimea Baker of Newmarket and a 34-year-old called Sean Lang of Arlington, Virginia. Several neighbors told 7 News they were distraught after learning the details behind the murders, but did not want to provide an interview because they themselves were very scared. One neighbor who asked to conceal her identity said she vividly remembered the moment she learned about the shooting. Someone contacted me and asked if I was okay. I was very curious and concerned, according to the anonymous neighbor. Everyone is just completely horrified and shocked and saddened too. It's just a very sad situation. Officials said the shooting likely happened at around 1:30 a.m. and the couple were found in bed hours later by one of the 4 children. The children, all aged under 13 years of age, hid in the house until sometime around 7 a.m. when one of them called authorities. That is very sad that they had to find their, mum and guardians dead and had to call police to report it so they could get help. Based on the conversations with the children, it happened about 1:30 in the morning. We believe, based on what the children told us, they hid in the house until morning until they felt safe to try to figure out what had happened. I can't imagine what's going through their minds. One of the children discovered his mother and the gentleman in the bed dead at the time. I can only say their lives are destroyed and they're upside down right now. Sheriff Jenkins said Baker is the mother of all 4 children, one of whom she shares with Lang. Neighbors told 7 News they are now wondering what is next for the children after experiencing such a traumatic incident. Clearly, it's a significant trauma and a significant loss to these kids, and their whole world is turned upside down. I don't even know how you deal with that. You have to to set the scene, it's like 1:30 in the morning, it's dark, and then all of a sudden you hear a bunch of uh, gunfire going off to the point where you and your brothers and sisters have to go and hide. When you feel like it's safe to come out, like hours later, you discover that your mother and your stepfather slash mum's boyfriend or whatever is dead as well. And then you're like, well, what do? We're just kids. And they have to call 911 to get help. That is horrible. They said here, this was a really heinous targeted double murder, a crime of rage and anger. This is the type of crime that shocks the conscience of everyone in Frederick County. Here, I'll play this little video with the chief. We'll have to go here to do it. Okay.
Does that work for you guys?
You good?
Yes.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here today. My name is Katie Robine, spokesperson and public information officer for the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. We are here today to discuss the incident that occurred on Sunday, August 25th at approximately 7 a.m. in the 7000 block of Mandalon Court in Newmarket. Today, you will hear from Sheriff Chuck Jenkins, who will give you an update on this tragic incident and take questions from the media afterwards. Also behind me is Captain Sadat Kaliskan and Lieutenant Robert Deckhut. And now I'll turn it over to the sheriff.
Thank you, Katie. Good afternoon. I want to start by expressing my sincere condolences to the families of the victims of this tragic incident. Also want to thank the press for your patience in giving us a couple days to pull everything together. The Frederick County Sheriff's Office has identified the victims who were found in the home as Crimea Melita Baker, and I'll spell that for you. First name Crimea, last name Baker, common spelling, 33 of Newmarket. The other male victim was Sean Antoine Lang, first name spelling Sean, last name spelling Lange, age 34 of Arlington, Virginia. There were also 4 children found unharmed in the home. When deputies arrived that morning, we will not be releasing their names or identities. So on Sunday morning at 7 a.m., deputies responded to a call for a shooting at the home on Mandalon Court. When they arrived, they found Crimea Baker and Sean Lang deceased, shot to death in the bed. Preliminary investigation indicates that the shooting occurred about 1:30 a.m. So right now, the detectives believe the victims were living together at the time of the shooting. Baker is the mother of all 4 children found inside the home. Mr. Lang is the father of one of the children. Our detectives are now investigating this as a double murder. At this time, there is no indication that this was a random killing, and we don't believe there's any threat to the community at large. This was clearly a rage killing by an angry and enraged person. There were 42 rounds fired at or into the victims at close range. 42 .40 caliber shell casings were recovered in the bedroom. We're in the early stages of the investigation. This was really a heinous targeted double murder, a crime of rage and anger. This is a type of crime that shocks the conscience of everyone in Frederick County. There's absolutely no reason, and let me repeat, absolutely no reason to believe that there's any further risk to the public or any threat to the public at large. And I want to assure the public today that we're doing everything we can. We have every available investigator, every agency resource we're going to put into this until the person or persons responsible are identified, arrested, and brought to justice. So I'll now take a few questions.
Do you believe the suspect was known to the victims?
Based on what we know now, I would say yes, most likely, yes.
Any leads or description on who that person might be, man, woman?
No, not at this point. We have not developed any suspects.
Sheriff, is there any chance that this could have been a murder-suicide situation?
Absolutely not. This was absolutely a double homicide, a rage killing. And again, remember what I said, 42 shots fired at or into both individuals.
42 rounds fired into these two people who are now no longer with us. And they tried to say, is this a murder / S word? And he's like, absolutely not. I mean, yeah, how do you get that with over 40 rounds being fired into both of them? It doesn't make any sense. But I still think about these children having to, one, hear what happened, but then not feel safe enough to check on mum and stepdad and dad, and then have to wait it out in that home for several hours. And then once it became light, they were like, oh, it's okay now for us to call authorities and try and get help. They sat in that home for over 5 to 6 hours with their dead parents, just waiting for the coast to be clear. I can't imagine that. Rachel says, yeah, good to see you. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Legal Hunting. Glad to have you back. Who's this? Hey, Premium. Good to have you. Who else did we have here? Tales Told in the Dark. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it. Hey, Catatonic and Marilyn Landis. Good to see you both too. I was trying to find a few more details about this, about like what the investigation and what point it's at right now. And it sounds like he said in the press conference, they believe it's personal. And I think, what else could you take from it? It can't be just someone who's like, yes, that house over there looks great. I like that one. Let's just shoot that one. I don't think it's like a drive-by or anything like that. It says here, most of their evidence has actually come from the children and what they heard and what they saw. They're looking for anyone who has any video footage that has not been handed in yet to please get that to their police department to help with the investigation. They said they did not describe the weapon used in the shooting, but said investigators recovered 42 .40 caliber shells with damage found in and around the bed. So did they shoot through the window, or someone made it into the home? Hold on, did they tell us about that? So apparently, for people asking, the children are now with social services. They're safe right now. They're in hiding apparently. I want to see if I can find a photo of the home. I know that sounds a bit morbid, but I just want to see if there's any like plywood over the windows or anything like that. Let's see if they have it on this video here.
Tonight, a search for answers in Frederick County. A couple killed inside a home in what the sheriff calls a crime of rage. We're learning 4 children were inside and hid for hours. 7 News' Christian Flores is in the New Market neighborhood speaking to neighbors who are understandably shaken up.
Neighbors here are still in disbelief after learning the terrifying details in this double murder. And now they're left wondering about the children who survived but experienced such a traumatic incident.
It's just always been very quiet, very calm, very safe.
But this quiet community rocked by a double murder early Sunday morning, killing 33-year-old Tremia Baker and 34-year-old Sean Lang. Several neighbors told us they were distraught learning the details and did not want to speak on camera because they were scared. But one neighbor who asked to remain anonymous tells 7 News she remembers how she learned about this.
Someone contacted me and asked if I was okay, and I was very curious and concerned. Everybody's just completely horrified and shocked and saddened too. It's just a very sad situation.
There were 4 children inside the home at the time of the shooting. They were not hurt, but they hid for hours until they felt safe to see what happened.
All right, that looks like, is that a view of the home? I don't see any damage on the front of the home, do you? I don't see any bullet holes or smashed windows, any plywood over the door or any of the top windows where the bedrooms are. And the bedrooms, I think, would be upstairs, right? Down below would be like kitchen and cooking area and living room and dining room. Upstairs would be where all the bedrooms are. I don't see any damage or any like, unless this is here, is I can't see any plywood. Yeah, it's either broken or were they let in? Is it someone they know that they let into the property? Because I don't see anything about no break and enter. Normally when you get these type of cases, they'll say something like, we noticed forced entry, or there was no forced entry. But I don't see anything describing that right now. I don't see anything like that. Let me search the mom's name, Crimea Baker. See if I can find something. Oh, they've put together sort of like a fundraising thing for the children. Here. This is the mom and the children right here. And they're saying here, on August 25th, my best friend and devoted single mother, Crimea Baker, was tragically murdered in her home. Her 4 children was present. She was just 33 years old. Never in a million years could I imagine I'd be typing that sentence. The last few days have been a living nightmare. I'm reaching out to our community in need of support for her 4 young children aged 9, 10, 11, and a 7-month-old baby. So the 7-month-old baby must be Crimea and Lang's child. So she had a new partner that she had a child with. The 9, 10, and 11-year-old, their father lives in Miami. And they don't think he was there. They think he was in Miami, or at least at this stage, they've spoken to him and believe that's where he was. They're saying, my focus right now is keeping these kids safe and together. The number one reason siblings are split up is due to financial burden. As you can imagine, for someone to add 4 children to their family overnight is a daunting task. Statistically, groups of 4 only have a 25 to 30% chance of being kept together. Your support is the best chance of keeping this family together. Oh, I hope the community comes together to support them. They've already raised just shy of $80,000, which, if you think over 4 children, is not a ton of money. It's only 20 grand for each child. That's less than a year of costs for each of them. I hope they're able to get some more funding and to keep them together. It's extremely sad. It says here she was a single mom, but in another article we had, they said that she had just gave birth to a baby with her new partner. So does that make her a single mother? I don't think so, but that's okay. All right, let me check here. Let's watch the little video. If it has music, I'll have to stop it. Okay, it does have music, but that's okay. We can put... The hell happened? I don't know what happened, guys. Okay. Apparently we're not allowed to go full screen. It's got some sort of problem. Yeah, here's her with her babies. So that's Crimea. That's the mom. Here's her with one of her other children dancing and playing in the kitchen. Her with a friend. That might be the friend that did the fundraiser. Her and her kids at a fair or something. That must be the new little baby they had. I'm a little odd about why no one's talking about the male victim. And they're trying to paint this lady as a single mom that apparently didn't have a male partner. especially with this video. Do you guys find that a little weird? That this entire video doesn't show any male except for the kids, but no male adult. Well, there's a male adult, but I think that's the partner of the other lady. There's her with the little bubba. So that must be like her children with the best friend's family. And I mean, I hope they get all the support they need, but I find it a little strange that they're trying to not mention the guy. And they tried to paint her as a single mom, but that can't be true, right? She just had a 7-month-old baby with the other victim. So the other victim is Sean Lang of Arlington, Virginia. He's 34 years old. Unless he was only staying at the home to visit the child and they're not together anymore? Because it says he lives in Arlington. And is that nearby? Frederick County, Newmarket, MD. Let's have a look. Newmarket, MD to Arlington, VA. Oh, well, he lives about an hour away. So she lives west of Baltimore, and he lives southwest of Baltimore down in Arlington. So they live about an hour. He's about 47.5 miles away if he does live in Arlington. The father of the other 3 children lives in Miami. The father of the 7-month-old was one of the victims in the crime. Yeah, like that appeal for money definitely says she was a single mom. Says right here. Her 4 children were present, and it says, "My best friend and devoted single mother." Yeah, but she had the father of her 7-month-old in the room when they were both shot and killed. Maybe there's some sort of family politics there that we don't know about. Hey, Snapcrackle. Good to see you. Like, I'm not blaming anyone, I'm just finding it a bit odd that the details don't match up. Hold on a second, I think I might have an explanation. Hold on. Alright. So someone here is saying that she was suffering through a life of abuse and that she lost her life because of a man who was just using her at the hands of another man who used and abused her for years. I need more information. I need more information. Let's go to WUSA 9. Let's see if they have anything about their family dynamics. Yeah. Neighbors say the family had only moved into the neighborhood 8 months ago. But, okay, that's the only new detail in that one.
This is WUSA 9 News at 11, and we start with some breaking new details on a story we've been following.
All right. I don't have any background into her, social life or whatever. Crime of rage. All right. I'm going to check one more source and try find out if we can find out what happened. All right. I'm just going to scan through something. I just want to find out. Okay. So it looks like at some point in the last while, she had a GoFundMe here. Lawyer to save my children. Crimea Baker is the organizer of this, and that looks like the 3 little kids. She says, I'm a domestic violence survivor. My past year has been the most difficult, heartbreaking, and challenging year of my life. From surviving the pain and anxiety caused by physical and emotional, abuse. Can't even completely and fully describe the range of emotions. Now to have my children's father, who's no good, his mother hide my children from me with no contact or information on where they are at. No contact means I have not heard from them, heard a location that they're at, or worse, don't even know how they're doing. This is heartbreaking as I don't have the financial resources to properly fight against this. He is unstable mentally and already has reports of threatening family with a loaded weapon. Really? Interesting. Trying to go through the legal process has been in both parts daunting and frustrating to no avail. I hate to ask, but I need to. Yeah, she's asking for money for a lawyer for better. This was what year was this? 18th of January 2018, so about 6 years ago. Interesting. It sounds like the children are much older now. That little girl looks about 13 now, but it sounds like she's had a bit of a hard life. Siana says, could it be because they were not married or living together? Hey, it could have been. He could have been staying over for the weekend only. But yeah, interesting because they did have a kid together. Doesn't mean you have to live together. But Lux, hey Lux, how are you? Rachel says, I do find it strange. Where is the father? Yeah, so he's in Miami, according to that press conference. They reckon they have spoken to him, but saying they spoke to him and saying he's not a person of interest are 2 different kettles of fish. They're not the same thing. So we might find out more on that. But what a horrible crime. 40 rounds, 40 caliber rounds too. Let me see if I can find anything else before I get off this subject. Past 24 hours, okay. Yeah, so WUSA 9 here has a photo of the property. Yeah, I don't really see anything. A crime of rage. Sheriff. Alright, let's go to WMAR 2. They say heartbreaking news out of Newmarket. A mother and father were discovered in their upstairs bedroom. So it was upstairs. They found 40 bullet wounds or bullet holes around the bed. They say the sheriff believes they were targeted but didn't specify why. Evidence indicates the pair were killed about 1:30 a.m., but deputies weren't called until 7 a.m. when the children called them. No suspects have been identified thus far, but there is no threat to the public. Yeah, authorities are asking for any help that you could give. Yeah, see, they're asking for more surveillance footage. Yeah. They're saying if you live in the surrounding area of the 7,000 block of Mandalong Court in Newmarket and have surveillance video from 11 p.m. Saturday, August 24th to 3 a.m. Sunday, August 25th, that could be helpful in the murder investigation of Crimea Baker and Sean Lang. Please contact FCSO Detective Reese immediately at 301 600 3640. I'm just trying to see if there's anything here. Yeah, people are saying, like, I would for sure think that someone in the street has a Ring doorbell camera, and looking at those types of homes, I'm almost sure that someone has a Ring doorbell camera in there. Someone must. Like, everyone has those, to get their packages and stuff like that. Sienna says, so it could be the father or grandma. That would explain the children being safe, just an opinion or possibility. I would be looking into anyone that had any sort of relationship with them that maybe went sour in the last few years, because it is odd that the children are safe, but the two adults are not, and the children weren't hurt at all, and there's no damage to the front of the home, so they must have got inside somehow. I think maybe the police know more than they're letting on. Yeah, I will definitely keep on top of this, and if I hear more breaking information on it, I will tell you. Hey, Robbie, how are you? I hate mornings. I hate mornings says, I'm thinking the new father wasn't contributing to the household, only visiting on his days off. You might be right. Could be. I mean, it could be that he lives in Arlington and then travels on the weekend to visit her and the baby. Sure. That's probably a pretty common way people do things. Actually, let's listen to some of the questions in the press conference. Maybe there's something in there.
How are the children doing?
Obviously, I can't imagine what's going through their minds. One of the children discovered his mother and the gentleman in the bed dead at the time. So I can only say that their life is just destroyed. It's upside down right now.
Did one of them call police?
I'm not going to get into the details of the 911 call because that's really relevant close into the investigation. I don't want to disclose anything that could jeopardize it.
Age range for the kids at all?
No, I won't give the age. Well, let me say this, 13 and under, age 13 and under. I will go that far.
Sure, can you talk to us about the gap between, obviously, this happened at 1:30, your department responded to, later on until 7 o'clock. Why was that delayed?
The best we can put together right now, again, based on the conversations with the children, it happened about 1:30 in the morning, and we believe, based on what the children told us, that they hid in the house until morning, until they felt safe to try to figure out what had happened.
Was there any indication of a break-in in the house?
I'm not going to comment to that.
Obviously, the neighborhood, the county's on edge right now. I know you already said there's no threat. Is there anything substantial you can add to say, hey, this is why it is safe, that you don't need to worry? Because every neighbor we talk to is extremely worried.
I know they are, and I understand that. Certainly, they have a right to be. But I will tell you, again, based on the type of killing this was, a rage, crime of passion killing, would lead you to believe, and I won't affirm this, but would lead you to believe that they were known to the killer and they were targeted. And I'll just leave it go at that.
Sheriff, there's a school that's like maybe a 20-second ride from the house. Is there any increased presence at that school today? No increased presence. Our SRO that's assigned to that area, I'm sure, has paid a visit to the school, and I know that mental health people probably are working with the children.
Can you go over the weapons?
The only thing I will tell you is we recovered 42 40 caliber shell casings. We don't know whether it was a handgun, carbine type rifle or whatever. We just don't know at this point.
Any words for the suspect if they happen to see our coverage of this today?
I can promise you this. Again, like I said, we will put every available investigator, every resource into this, and we will go to no end to find the person or persons responsible and bring them to justice as it should be.
Are you able to disclose if the children are with any other family members or if they're, any county services have been deployed to, help them in this?
I know that the social services, the Child Advocacy Center is involved. They were involved in the interviews of the children, so I'm sure they're keeping close in touch with the families and the kids.
Are you all getting help from federal resources or other agencies and possibly trying to track a weapon?
At this point, we are working with other local law enforcement agencies. We don't have the need right now to bring in any federal agencies.
I feel like they know much more than they're letting on, which obviously from his questioning, one, they wouldn't comment on if there was any break and enter. So I'm going to guess there was no break and enter. because otherwise they would have said, yeah, the home was broken into. And that's probably how they know one way that it was targeted is that, and how the killer was known to the victims because they were let into the home. They're not going to let someone in late at night that they don't know. So I'm guessing, what if, no, I can't say that. I think they're probably going to be interviewing someone pretty soon. I think there's someone they're probably looking for. Definitely. And it looks like they said it was a 40 caliber. They said they found 40 caliber, you know, bullets or whatever. 40 caliber is normally a handgun, right? Not normally like a machine gun or anything like that. It's normally like a Glock or something like that. Yeah, like normally, I know police use a 40 cal. In Australia, they use a 40 cal Glock 27. You know, a Ruger. They have an SR40. Something like that. You know, Springfield make a 40. I think a lot of companies make a 40. Handgun? Automatic? Maybe? Semi? 40 bullets. Might be like a semi or something like that. Very interesting. Very interesting. If we get another press conference, if we get more about who they might be looking at in regards to it, I will definitely bring you more. 100%. Let's see. There was an update 16 minutes ago on the 2 bodies in Mitchelton. They didn't really add anything. That's the worst update ever. Let me just double check that there's no... Yeah, no update, but hey, that one had a weird guy in a blue Tyvek suit just walking away from the scene with police, and then was put into a cop car. So interesting. Hey, I want to bring you a story out of Australia. I didn't talk about it yesterday, but apparently this poor little baby, right? A guy came over and poured boiling water on the little baby, 9-month-old baby. This is the man here accused of it. They want to speak to him. He's out and not in custody right now. He poured scalding water onto a child, and that child has now got a bunch of burns and things like that. And they're trying to hunt him down. Here's that little baby. 9-month-old baby boy was attacked in a Brisbane park yesterday with boiling water. They said here, the 9-month-old sustained burns to 60% of his body, and they said the little boy had been on a picnic with his mum in Hanlon Park in Brisbane on Tuesday when a man approached them about midday. He poured the coffee on top of the infant. It was coffee, not hot water, sorry. Who immediately began to scream and was captured on CCTV fleeing the park on foot. There's the guy they want to speak to. He poured a boiling hot coffee on a child. So if you're in Brisbane, in the surrounding areas, look for this guy. This guy needs to be off the street urgently. The fact he's willing to hurt a child should tell you everything you need to know. What kind of sick individual pours a scalding cup of coffee onto a baby boy? Any baby, even a girl, even a baby octopus. Why would you do that? This guy needs to be found and get off the street. It's a pretty clear photo. Someone must know who this guy is. Call it in to QPS, which is Queensland Police Service, and notify them so he can get into custody urgently. Rachel says that's someone who is not stable. I might agree with you on that. But still, a little child was hurt. Burns to 60% of his body as a little baby. He's going to be going through a hell of a rehab and a lot of surgeries, and Hopefully not skin grafts and things like that. That poor child. I hope not. But yeah, that story came through yesterday and I didn't get a chance to do it. Aha, look at him. This is him running away like the bitch he is. You run fast for such a P word of a man. That's him running away. Let's see if we can make that bigger. There you go. That's him fleeing the park. They got a pretty good shot of him on that photo, though. All right. There you go. There you can see the other CCTV of him running through that park when he hurt that child. Yeah, hopefully they can find him. Shouldn't be too hard to track down. They got really good video of him. Now, you see the type of video, like, I know it's not nighttime, but you hope they might be able to find something in that last case that we spoke about. Hopefully they might have good video like this of whoever went to that home and harmed those two people. There he is running away like a stupid person he is. There you go. And more of a zoomed in footage of him. Queensland Police. Yeah, if you know this guy, call it in. Queensland Police, I can give you the number. If you want to contact Crime Stoppers in Queensland to make a report, you can contact 1-800-333-000. That number again, 1-800-333-000. And you can remain anonymous if you so feel you need to. There's that number, 1-800-333-000. Try find this absolute piece of crap of a person. Let me see if there's an update. So apparently it wasn't just a cup. Apparently the guy poured an entire thermos of coffee onto him. An entire thermos. That is insane. Here's a photo of him looking up at the camera. I have another better photo of him here. Oh, StreamYard. Come on. It's a little blurry, I'm sorry. But if you recognize this guy, call it in. There he is. There he is. There you go. Someone must know who dresses like this with the beige colored or cargo pants, this blue and black flannel shirt, and a black cap and wears glasses. Someone must know who he is. All right, there we go. All right, do you want to do one more before we go for the night? One more ping. All right, let's go to KMBC. Hopefully this will work. Okay, maybe not KMBC. It's giving me a block message.
I'm Janae Hancock. Here are your top headlines today. New laws take effect in Missouri today, and among them, Blair's Law. It bans celebratory gunfire. It's named after a young girl who lost her life when someone fired a gun from across the lake on Independence Day. That bullet came down, hit, and killed Blair while she celebrated the holiday with her friends and family back in 2011. And ever since then, her mother has been pushing for this law, hoping it prevents other families from experiencing the same heartbreak she had to deal with. Another new law also went into effect today regarding public safety. Today, and among them, Blair's Law. It bans celebratory gunfire. It's named after a young girl who lost her life when someone fired a gun from across the lake on Independence.
So in 2011, that young girl called Blair lost her life due to someone, firing up in the air, and she was struck by a stray bullet and she died. That is awful. And, they finally, after, what is it, like 13 years, were able to legislate a law against celebratory gunfire. That's great news, and I hope another child is not killed because of it. That family must, just be beside themselves even all these years later. But this is a story I wanted to bring you. A Kansas woman is charged with first-degree murder and another of other crimes connected to a deadly police chase that killed a 1-year-old boy. According to a Kansas Highway Patrol report, a 28-year-old called Maria Papalas was speeding while trying to outrun a sheriff deputy. She allegedly lost control of her car 5 miles south of Atchison. The vehicle rolled several times. A 1-year-old boy in the car with her later died from his injuries at hospital. She's been charged with first-degree murder, fleeing or eluding law enforcement, aggravated child endangerment, obstruction, battery on a law enforcement officer, driving under the influence, marijuana possession, and reckless driving. She made her first appearance in court on the charges on Tuesday and applied for a public defender. Now, let me see if I can find you a little video about it, about the actual what happened. Come on. Apparently I cannot, but that's okay.
About a crash that killed a 17-month-old on Sunday in Atchison, Kansas.
Today, the Atchison County attorney charged the mother and driver of that car with first-degree murder. The crash happened about 5 miles south of town on Sherman Road near 242nd. Fox 4's Jacob Sloan has been looking into this for us tonight. He has more from Atchison.
The sheriff told me that everybody's pretty shaken up about the incident that started here in town and ended in a high-speed chase down a winding country road. Police first heard about the car crashing into a wall in town, where the sheriff's office says it lost a front bumper and fled the scene. They then found it parked on the side of Sherman Road south of Atchison. Sheriff's deputies spoke with a 28-year-old mother, Maria Papalas. Papalas took off, driving fast on a winding 2-lane road. She lost control of the car, driving off the road, over a fence and into trees, eventually landing upside down. The crash killed her 17-month-old son.
I think it's pretty bad. It's irresponsible behavior. A child was killed in this because of a crazy driver.
Papalas now faces 8 charges, including first-degree murder, driving under the influence, and attempting to elude a police officer. Folks in town are looking for answers.
I think it's just too young, and I don't know, baby was even younger, so we lost someone that day down here in Atchison.
Papalas was taken to Topeka for her injuries, but has since been released. She's now in the Atchison County Jail. She's set to appear in court on September 6th. Jacob Sloan, Fox 4, working for you.
That woman has a raft of charges she's going to have to face over that car chase and death of that young boy. I mean, it's just horrible, right? They're saying here that during the chase, she lost control at a curve and drove into a ditch. causing her to roll the vehicle multiple times before the car came to a stop on its roof. She only received minor injuries in the crash. However, a 1-year-old boy faced life-threatening injuries. That infant ended up dying at Children's Mercy Hospital 2 days later on August 27th at about 2:25 p.m. The crash report identified the infant as Maxalis Papalas Schulps. That's his name, I think. One resident told Fox 4 that the town is mourning the child's death. I think it's pretty bad. It's irresponsible behavior. A child was killed because of a crazy driver. I think she was just too young. The baby was even younger. We lost someone that day in Atchison. That was the guy on the video, actually, that we watched. She's currently being held at Atchison County Jail under a $500,000 bond. So there you go. She'll face all those charges over the, coming period of time. To outrun a deputy and then roll your car several times. That is like, why? You just go, why? What for? Awful. And that little baby had to lay in a hospital for 2 days in agony and eventually passed away. I'm sorry, it's not funny about the baby. Someone sent me a funny video and I want to show it to you. So to end the show, I'm going to show you some odd kangaroo video. Hold on, can I pause this? Yep. All right. So I want to show you the kangaroo video. Watch this. There he goes. Oh my god. He's like the high jump champion of the world. Let's go back. Here he goes. 1, 2, up on the fence, and then I've never seen a kangaroo do that in my life. What was he doing? He was treating it like a trampoline. What a crazy animal. I don't know where he was going. Maybe he was trying to get onto the roof. Oh, we have to watch that again. Come on. There he goes. He goes to get on the fence. I think he was trying to get onto the roof of the house, but he missed. That kangaroo's mental. Go on, kangaroo. Ah! God, they can jump so high, right? They weigh a ton, like 80 kilos. They can fly. He can fly. Champion high jumper kangaroo. He is a special type of athlete. All right, I think we're going to wind up for the night. It's getting quite late. Yeah, I know they can jump, but I never realized they could jump that far. And I live here. All right, let me check one last thing before we wind up for the night. Apparently, also in Brisbane this afternoon, near where that those 2 people died earlier today or were found dead earlier today, Queensland police have also responded to an incident at a Bunnings in Stafford in the city's northern suburbs shortly after 11 a.m. this morning. They had a fake, things that go kaboom, that type of thing. I can't say the word, but one of those, a fake report of one at this particular store, and they had to close down the entire store and clear it. So that was also today in Brisbane. I'm just seeing if there's a update on these 2 people before we go. Let me see. Here we go, 27 minutes ago. They're saying still unknown if they're treating those 2 people as a suspicious death or not. That's that Mitchelton situation going on. They said 2 people have been found dead inside a Brisbane home, sparking a police investigation. But yeah, no more information. No further information is available. And then they said, actually, there's another one here. A man whose body was found in a creek in the New South Wales Hunter region early last year has been identified as police continue to appeal for information. The man's name is Malcolm Bridge. He was 58 years old. He was found in Muscle Creek in Muswell Brook on Thursday, March 30, 2023. Police were called to the scene and entered the creek to retrieve the man's body. Over a year later, police have issued a fresh appeal for information into his death. The man's death is being treated as suspicious. Investigators revealed that Malcolm had suffered injuries to his face and hands, and although his body was found in the creek, he did not appear to have drowned. The Detective Chief Inspector Rod Blackman said, "Detectives will leave no stone unturned in the search for answers. We are hoping this appeal might spark the memory of someone who might have spoken to Malcolm or seen him in the period before his death. This past 18 months have been extremely challenging for his family, and it's time for those with information to come forward." Malcolm's sister, Kathleen, said their family needed answers to gain some sense of closure. There are people out there that know what happened to Malcolm and his last moments. We are asking anyone that knows anything, doesn't matter whether it's small, please go see the Muswell Brook Police. All right, let me see if I can find a photo of Malcolm. Malcolm Bridge. All right. Oh, yeah, I remember we did this story. Here's a photo of him. This is Malcolm Bridge right here. He's 58 years old, found in a creek, and he had injuries to his face and hands, but he did not drown. He did not drown in the creek. Someone placed him there after hurting him, and they are appealing for information. This is from New South Wales, so the state under Queensland. Hey Tia, how are you? A bath, yeah, that's right. What did Michelle say? At least it wasn't breakdancing, a breakdancing kangaroo. I think you only do the kangaroo when you're breakdancing. I don't think kangaroos can do breakdancing and then do the kangaroo. I think that's against the rules. I think that's against the rules of breakdancing. But yeah, here, Malcolm Bridge. Latest news. Here. This is from the New South Wales Police website right here. Detectives appealing for information as part of our investigation into a suspicious death at Muswell Brook last year. On Thursday, the 30th of March, 2023, police were called to Muscle Creek, Muswell Brook, following reports the body of a man was located in the water. Officers entered the creek and retrieved the body of a man who has since been identified as 58-year-old Malcolm Bridge. They said Strike Force Box, BOCKS, was established by detectives attached to the Hunter Valley Police District to investigate the circumstances surrounding Malcolm's death. Investigations revealed that Malcolm had suffered injuries to his face and hands, and then although being located in the creek, he did not appear to have drowned. Despite investigations under the Strike Force, the full circumstances of his death are yet to be established. We are hoping this appeal might spark the memory of someone who seen or spoke to him. Yeah, the number they want you to call is again Australian Crime Stoppers, 1-800-333-000. Anyone that has any information on Malcolm Bridge's death or had seen him in the time before his body was found, you should call the Crime Stoppers number. Here, it's on the screen again. 1-800-333-000. You can hear it. His sister just says they just need closure. They need to know how he ended up in the creek and why he was injured, why someone had to hurt him, and who did that to him. You could give the family that closure if you gave police that information, and you could help them start their healing journey by giving over that information to police. Remember, you know, not all people are worth protecting. You shouldn't be protecting people who can commit this type of crime on someone. What if they did it to you? What if it was your brother or your sister or you? Wouldn't you want someone to speak up if that happened to you and your family was, you know, suffering with not knowing how you ended up in a creek and how you were beat up? I think you would want someone to come forward as well. So if that is you and you know, call the number 1-800-333-000. All right, we're going to wind up for the night. Hey, I love you all very much. I have the best followers in the world, the best viewers in the world, and the best helpers in the world. I couldn't do this without you and the people who support the channel, people who come every night and just hang out in the chat, people who leave a comment, people who give like a thumbs up to the video or a thumbs down, and people who share the shows or post on Reddit or whatever. They are very appreciated by me. I mean, I'm very thankful that someone would take even a second out of their day to do something to help me. So I am more than thankful. And to the people who financially support this channel through Ko-fi, a membership, or super chats or a PayPal, those people, they really do help, and I am eternally thankful for their support. Without them and the other people, I wouldn't be able to sit here every day and bring you 3 hours of live streams every day. There's no way. And everyone has each other to thank. All the people in the chat, they all do different jobs. Some of them do some of the liking and sharing and all that, and some of the other people can't do that, but they can financially help. And everyone sort of does their little bit, and together you guys do a great job. So I am very, very thankful. Tia, thank you. It's great to have you here. Same with everyone else: Natasha, Danny, Tia, Laura. Who else? Angela was here. Marilyn Landis. Who else do we? Marilyn Landis. Yeah, Rachel. I Hate Mornings was hanging around for a bit. Diane was here. My friend Diane. My other friend Diane Brock was here earlier. Robbie. Who else? Lux was here for a bit. Sienna, my good friend Sienna from the very hottest place on earth, Catatonic. Some new people, Premium, and who else did we have? Hey, my friend Legal Hunting was here too. Tales Told in the Dark was here. So I love you all. Hey, have a great night. Have a great Wednesday for yourself. It's Wednesday tomorrow? No, Thursday for you tomorrow. Have a great Thursday and come back at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern for another episode of Nights with Ping. Peace out, everyone. Good night.